Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marvelous Statues. I'm George, and today we are taking a look at the Prime 1 Studios Flash New 52 statue, so stay tuned. Alright, so the Scarlet Speedster is all put together. He's looking pretty good in my opinion. I like the composition and all that. I think it's a really nice looking piece. There are a couple issues I think with fitment, and I'll get into that in the review. But overall, I think this thing is pretty good. The box is kind of simple and clean. You guys saw that in the unboxing. Nothing really big. I think they could have done with some color, especially since the Flash wears red. I think the box being red would have been nice. But very similar to all of the other Sideshow DC line pieces that have been coming out, like a black and white is what you got. This is a piece that was produced in conjunction with Sideshow, so it was Prime 1 and Sideshow. Now, I don't know if Sideshow was just doing distributing for this one or how much input they had into this piece, as I do see some of the issues in this one like I would have come to expect from Sideshow, some of those little mishaps in QC. But overall, I think the composition's really cool. I like the way he's running across the street and the street's being lifted up like that. It's a very awesome and fun piece. And for a Flash statue, I think it's one of my favorites in terms of just overall look. So I think that's a really nice thing about this one. You get some instructions in the box, and then you get an extra portrait. And then that's all you get with this piece. So you have a more serious portrait. This is your regular portrait, and then in the exclusive has a smirking portrait, which I'm kind of digging. But yeah, so that's about it. Let's get into the up close images, and I'll show you what this guy's all about. So there he is, the Scarlet Speedster himself. This is the new 52 version of the Prime 1 Studios Flash. Let's give you a quick turnaround right here so you can see what we're working with. Looks pretty nice. I like how that street is just ripped up, and then you can still see the open manhole cover from beneath, or what it looks like underneath the manhole cover. You got that strip of lava there being ripped up. I don't know what the deal with that is. Probably they're fighting Darkseid, and he's looking pretty shiny. Let's get into the piece. Starting off at the base, I like that you have this Flash symbol across the whole thing, and you have like the lightning bolts and all that. I think it's pretty cool. It's got a silver look to that, so it's very clean, very elegant.
That shit is classy.
And then you're immediately brought into this really awesome looking base. right? It's destroyed. The street's being ripped up, and the Flash is running through it, and that's pretty cool. So I like the detail that they put into that. It does look like pavement, so I like that. You know, so you got the street being ripped up there, all the texture work in. What I like about it is that you have some shading.
Look at all the colors I can see.
So I like that they added some color into this. That's really nice. Even on the inside here, you can see that there's some green. So, you know, you could tell that this manhole cover hasn't been pulled up before, or it hasn't been pulled up in a long time. So there's, you know, grime and stuff down there. I also like that the lower part of the rock is kind of looking wet. It has like a kind of a gloss to it. So I think that's nice.
I love muddy puddles.
All right. And then you got this water hydrant that's being torn up and everything. Same thing too. It looks all worn out, you know, has dents and scratches in it. So that's pretty cool. Let me try to focus there for you guys. There you go. So it has a lot of nice detail. Nice paint job on that too. I like that. All right. So then you come up into the Flash. So this is based on the new 52, and that's why we got this really glossy, shiny look to him. I've never been a huge fan of the fact that all of the new 52 is very glossy, but you know, it's not the end of the world for me. So I like the comics, so I'm not really hating on it. Just when you look at it in true form, it just doesn't get the same feeling like I get from the comics, you know, with all that glossy. But you know, it is what it is. That's the part of it. So Flash is running across the street, and you have these lightning bolts coming off him.
And bolts of lightning from his arse.
Which I think is a very nice concept, but the execution is kind of sucks. And it could be because of shipping, because of heat and everything. You know, that happens. I've been told before that, you know, these type of pieces, you need to take and put a hairdryer to or something, warm them up so you can get them into shape a little better. Because things like this lightning bolt here didn't fit in perfectly into the leg. So it was like this was supposed to be a little more spread out, and it wasn't in the picture. It shows it that way, but here it didn't come that way. So when I take and try to put the peg into the leg there, it doesn't fit. And you know, I pushed into it pretty hard, and it just wasn't happening. So you know, that's what that was. And then if you try to take and put this part here in the slot, like it shows you, like I have it here in the slot, but when you try to take and do that, it kind of pulls back on the lightning bolt just a bit. So it ends up trying to tug that out, which that's kind of weak. Same thing happens here on the foot. You can see that there. It kind of doesn't sit in perfectly. See that? So that comes down here into the base, and look at that. And again, I tried to push into that pretty hard, and it just wouldn't go in.
That's what she said?
So a little afraid of breaking the plastic. I don't want to do that. So, you know, I'd probably take a hairdryer to it and try to see if that might work. But so far, it's not fitting very well. Same thing happened here in the hand. So that's another example of that. This one here scares me the most because there's nothing attached to it. So I feel like it may fall out. But, you know, so far, so good. So that's not so bad. The one up here on this hand is not that bad. This one fits in actually very well. So that's cool. Let me see if I can get around it so you guys can see it. Now you're picking up the background. There you go. You can see that fits in pretty well. All right. So the suit himself, like I said, is glossy. There's this like black crud around the edges, you know, of the suit. And I know the suit's more metallic, so I guess that's the way that's supposed to be. So far, from what I'm seeing, pretty nice, sharp paint job on the suit. The suit looks good. I like the way that the grime looks there. The gold and everything looks really good. There's like a different color inside of the lines and everything, so it adds a little bit of contrast. So that's nice. And then, you know, the metallic areas of the red, that looks pretty cool too. Like the folds, you can see all the folds in the body there like that. That's done really nicely. So it gives the feeling like this is like some kind of like pleather metallic looking suit that he's wearing, right? Like really high gloss leather. So so that's neat. This hand here, you know, I guess that's the way he's supposed to be. That's the way he runs. So that's nothing crazy about that. All right. So again, body looks good. Portraits, they're okay. So they don't fit into the neck perfectly. So that's something you guys should know about. See how it kind of lifts up there on the neck there? It's not the end of the world because when you're looking at it up close, or when you're looking at it from the front, you know, you're not really seeing any of that. So that's nothing that I'm gonna that makes or breaks it for me, but it's there. So that happens with both portraits. The portrait, I feel it's lacking a little bit. Like you can see that they kind of messed up there. There's a little bit of black bleed into the skin. The skin looks like it's some kind of clear translucence, which is kind of neat to give the skin tone, but it's all right. It's not like great. Definitely nothing that's gonna make me like say I want to take this thing back, but you know, it's something that you guys might not like. All right, it has kind of like a gloss appearance also to the skin as well. The smirking face, this is the exclusive, and I like the smirking face. I didn't think I was, but I dig it, only because it adds a little more character to him, so I think that's cool. You could take this out, pop that out there, and I'll show you the other portrait. There you go, and you have the more determined look. And this is okay too, not bad. Has some of the same issues that the other one did, where you got some bleeding lines there. Skin tone, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best either. All right, and that's basically the entire statue. I'm mostly like very happy with it. I think it's really cool. I like the whole composition about it. You know, it's very dynamic, extremely dynamic, and it doesn't really take up that much space. You know, in retrospect, it can easily fit inside of a Besta. Definitely not hard to display. So I like that about it as well. All right, and that's my thoughts on the Primal Studios Flash statue. Please give me a like, hit subscribe if you're into these type of videos. You can catch all of our stuff at mcecentral.com. I'm going to be coming back at you with another unboxing and review video pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, keep it marvelous.